We're going to start. Today is day 4. We're going to solve inequalities. Inequalities are like equalities. The only difference is they don't have an equal sign. They have a greater than or less than or greater than or less than or equal to. The first thing that we're going to do is look at some notation stuff. We're going to go through some notation stuff. So, it's color-coded up here. I know it's not color-coded on your paper. But for an interval, and this is an interval, this is an inequality. So for an interval, if you have brackets, so I'm going to put brackets first. So if you have this or this on this side, then looking at this chart, if they are brackets, then you include that number that it's around. So you would definitely shade. So it would be a closed circle. We say that this is closed and you shade. Hello. Are y'all sophomores? Y'all were at the meeting? Okay, I forgot that some of y'all might be at the meeting. Yes, you can. Just tell me your name so I can make sure you're not absent. Okay, you switch classes, huh? Okay. And Chris? Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. And so Cameron, if you want to grab the notes and homework from the front table. So there's notes and homework, and then the practice worksheet is for next class, actually. But you can go ahead and grab it. The next part, if it says it's included or not included, anytime that you shade, you include that point. Or you include that number. You would include that number. And what it looks like for the inequality symbol, that's going to be the one that is either greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. So anytime that you have brackets, those go with these symbols. So for the parentheses, if you have this or this, you would have a circle, and we say that it is open and you don't shade. You could also say that it's empty. Hello. What's your name? Okay, I want to make sure that I get you on attendance. And correct me if I say Jemiah. Just remind me to say Jemiah. For this one, you do not include that point. Or that number. And the inequality symbols are either greater than or less than. I'm just giving our people a few minutes to get that copied down. Jamae, are you good? Okay. We are gonna keep on moving. First thing, let's go ahead and give our little brains a break. Is this a STAR tested subject? No, but you will get take a STAR 360 test. And that is to show your growth.
What's up, everyone? It's Kayla. On behalf of Jeremy, to tell you all about the three versions of the best manual. Whether you're trying to get your ideas down, compose a message, or reply to someone, it can be difficult to write well and write fast. With Grammar to Go, you can face any writing with confidence. It brings genuine zero line productivity.
All right. We are currently in second to last place. Name a piece of equipment with the word scope in its name. I think auto is. Oh, I thought that's what it is. You think that's how you spell it? I know that there's one that goes in your ear. I'm pretty sure that's an otoscope, but I don't know how to spell it. Scope. A piece of equipment. Microscope. Periscope? What's a periscope? Anybody know? Oh, I don't know what that is. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's what goes in an ear. Like, don't y'all know? Y'all seen that, right? Yeah. Anybody heard of a periscope before? Besides this guy. Like, y'all have known about the thing that goes in your ear. How could that one be more popular? Whatever. Okay. Moving on. We're going to fill in some blanks. So when we're solving inequalities, and this is not new, you've solved inequalities before. So here is the first big one. These are just some things that we need to remember. That if you multiply or divide by a negative, do y'all remember what you do? If you multiply or divide by a negative? Terrence, can you put your phone away for me? Thank you. What do you do? Hey, can you put your phone away for me? Thanks. Y'all will have time at the end of class, I promise. What do you do if you multiply or divide by a negative? Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember what y'all do with the sign? What do you do with that sign? Flip the sign. Okay, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to make sure that you flip the inequality sign. That is not the same thing as add or subtract. It's only if you multiply or divide. Okay, it's only if you multiply or divide. The next one, there's definitely not enough room to put this down in your blank. So if you have variables on both sides, if you have variables on both sides of your inequality, you need to get them together on the left. You need to get them together on the left. So if you see an X on the left and an X on the right, we want to get them together and we want all the variables to be on the left. That's bullet point 3. We will always put the variable on the left side of the inequality sign. And I'm not as picky if it's an equal sign, it doesn't really matter, but because we're going to graph these, if you put the variable on the left, you're going to make less mistakes. So we're just going to get in the habit of always putting the variable on the left side of the inequality sign. Once we add these extra details into the solving process, the process of solving a linear inequality is the exact same process as solving a linear equation. So it's the same stuff as we did last class. We're going to isolate the variable or get the variable by itself. We just want to make sure that the variable is on the left side when we're done. We want to make sure that the variable is on the left side when we are done. Okay, let's take another break. We don't have a lot to do today. Let's go to round 2. Name something a person might leave in their pocket that goes through the laundry. Oh my goodness, I do that all the time. Oh my goodness.
Coins.
I feel like this is sometimes dated. I'll put it, but there you go. Phone. You can sit wherever you'd like. Maybe like little old ladies that keep tissues in their pockets. I don't know. Little old ladies. I can't believe they didn't pick money. Like that is, that's for real one of them. We're going to. We don't have much to do today. We're going to do them all. Oh, that's why it kept saying we already guessed it. All right, we're going to flip over to the back and we're going to do some examples. So flip your paper over. We are on to the back. I wash receipts a lot, but I wash chapstick sometimes, and that makes me really sad because then it gets hot and it melts all over my clothes. It makes me really sad. So we are going to solve these and then I'm going to show you how to graph them. So the way that we solve them are going to be the same as we do with our equations. First thing I'm going to check is the variable on the left side. Yeah, so now I just solve like I normally would. So this is a two-step problem, two-step problems. I only have two numbers that I need to get rid of, two steps. So which one do I do first? We moved to 13, so I'm going to subtract 13. 25 minus 13. We can do some old school maths. We got 5 minus 3 is going to be 2. 2 minus 1 is going to be 1. Last step, what is it? Divide by 3. Is 3 negative? No, so I don't flip the sign or anything. What's 12 divided by 3?
4.
4. Is everybody with me here?
Yeah.
All right, when we go to graph it, guess what? We don't have to put a bunch of numbers on there. The only number I care about is 4. Put 4 in the middle, that's fine. You can put 4 wherever you want. It doesn't matter. I'll put 4 right here. Doesn't have to be in the middle, doesn't have to be the left, doesn't have to be the right. Just pick a little hash mark and put 4. This arrow is going to help us because it's going to tell us which way we're going to shade, which way we put the arrow. And then the underline, flip your paper over. When you underline, when you have the underline symbol, so we're looking in the last column, the underline. So am I going to have a solid circle or an open circle? Solid circle. So I put a circle there and I got to shade it in. So, do what? You don't need to do that. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Just leave, all you need is 4. So what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna pretend like this is like an arrow. So that means that like we're drawing an arrow like that. That's how we know which way to shade. So this is like the arrowhead that tells you which way that you're gonna point. So all I'm gonna do is shade, and when I shade, I draw like a squiggly line to kind of show, especially if you're using a pencil, so that you can kind of see. I'm gonna draw a squiggly line, and then I'm gonna make sure that I have a big arrow. I'm going to make those better. So I draw an arrow this way. I can even shade it in if I want. So it's a big arrow that points to that way. That's it. I'm done. Next problem. What do we have to do first? Yeah, we got to take care of those parentheses. So we are going to distribute. So we have -3 times x, -3x, -3 times +5. What's -3 times +5? -15, very good. Didn't do anything with the right side. I have x's on both sides of the equal sign. When we have an equation, we want to move towards the biggest one. But for this one, what side do I want the variable to end up on? The left. So it doesn't matter that the 5 is bigger, we're going to bring it over. So we have variables on both sides, so we want to bring them over to the left. And this only is for inequalities. We don't ever do this any other time. So we have -3, and we're getting more negative. -3 minus 5. Nope. -8. You can think about it like your bank account. If you were at -$3 and you went and spent 5 more, you're at -8 now. Now we're at a 2-step equation. What do I do first? Add 15. So 15 plus 1, 16. And my very last step. Very good. Oh, I divided by a -8. What do I do? I have to flip the sign. What's 16 divided by -8? -2. When I go to graph, what's the only number that I care about? -2. I don't care where you put it. You put it right in the middle. -2. And I'm going to draw a circle. Do I shade it or not shade it? How do you know? Because there's nothing underneath, so you leave it open. And then this one is going to face the same direction because the point is pointing the same direction. So I can put a little bit of squiggly line. It doesn't really matter how far you do a squiggly line. And then I'm going to make an arrow. Yep. I have a pass now, so you can take the pass. Then next problem, I want you guys to try that. The next problem, it's 2 steps. I want you to try that one. It's a 2-step problem. Yep, you plug in 4 to each one. So 3 times 4 minus 7. Then you'll do this one. 3 times -2 minus 7. And I'll do this one. 3 times 0 minus 7.
Oh, so it'll be like.
Yeah, so if you need a notebook paper, you can, or put it all on there. So we are doing example 3. This is a 2-step problem. And we should definitely be using pencil because we might make a mistake and that's okay. That's how we learn. So let's see. What's my first step? What's up? Very good. So we want to get the 17 to the other side, subtract 17. Don't lose the negative on the 3. So we've got 17. We're taking away from 35, so we're going to have to use old school math. I can't take 7 from 5, so I'm going to have to borrow. So that'll be a 2, and that becomes a 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 2 minus 1 is 1. So I get 18. And I've got one more step. What's my last step? Yep, I need to divide. Anything else? How do you know to flip the sign? Because we're dividing by a negative. So I have to flip that sign. What's the only number I care about on the number line? -6. Go put it wherever you want to. I could put it in the middle. I could put it off center. It doesn't matter. Do I make that a solid circle? Is it open or closed? Solid or closed circle. And then my arrow is going to point in the same direction again because it's pointing towards the left. Any questions over these three examples? I think they're pretty straightforward. Yep. We didn't on the first one because we divided by a +3. And so we can even look at our homework. If we take a look at our homework, it looks to me like I'm looking at the wrong day. On our day for homework, for question 1, is that the number with the variable? Is that positive? The number one on number 1, you have 8x. That's positive. So in the end, you're not going to flip the sign for that one. Sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't. The others I can't really tell because like number 2, the variable's on the wrong side, so you have to move it. But it just depends on when, in the end, when you divide. If you divide by a negative, you flip the sign. All right, let's take another break. Let's go and see about round 3. Name a part of your own body that you bite. I feel like it's going to be something so obvious. There we go. Woo! So we're going to write our equation for the next one, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and solve it. And we are almost done for today. The next problem is writing an inequality that represents the verbal statement. I know that nobody really likes doing these, but we've got to practice them because you have one on your test and you have one on your quiz. Did somebody say something? Oh, I'm also going to mark one off. I am going to mark off question 8 and 10 for homework. So you only have 2 of them. So if you want to mark off question 8 and question 10, you only have 2. So sometimes these you have to read and then reread and then reread and then reread. So it says 2 times the sum of a number and 4 is less than or equal to 15. So the thing that I can pick out of here the easiest is this. Is less than or equal to. I know that that is less than or equal to. I know that. I can write that. That's easy. Less than or equal to 15. This says we have a sum. I know that it's addition. The sum of a number and 4. So we have a number, you could call it X, and 4. So we're having the sum of a number and 4. Then it says 2 times that. So 2 times this sum. So 2 times all of that. 2 times that sum. So 2 times all of that stuff. And I know that we struggle with these. I know. We'll only get better with practice. All we can do is practice. We're going to solve it. But first, we're going to do our fast money round. And then we're going to come back and we're going to solve it. And then we're going to be done with notes for today. For our fast money round. Name a fat animal. Name something that might be cut short. Name a bad occupation for someone who is afraid of water. Name something you'd hate to see the out of order sign on. Name something you might purchase by the gallon. Gas is a good one. Pandas are fat. What does it have up here? Oh. How is panda not? Well, we did get on all the rest. Hey. Yeah. 1573. Okay, we're gonna finish these notes and then remind me to go change that board. Good job, guys. All right, back here. What do we got to do to solve? What's our first step? Yeah, we've got to distribute in this 2. So we get 2 times x, 2x, 2 times 4. Very good. I have a 2-step problem now. It is 2 steps, 2-step problem. What do I do first? Subtract 8. $15 minus 8, what is that? 7. So, Terrence, what's my last step for this one? Well, you are multiplying, so what's the opposite or inverse of multiply? Divide. When I divide, is this a negative? No, so we don't flip the sign. So you were asking when don't you? You don't now. So I'm going to bring this 2 over, and I'm going to divide by 2. Does 7 divide by 2? No, not a big deal. My answer is going to be this. And I'm going to create my own number line. Even though it's not here, I'm going to create my own number line. So when they don't divide, you leave it as a fraction? You just leave it as a fraction. Terrence, will you open that door for me, please? So on my number line, what's the only number that I care about? 7, 2. Yeah, 7/2. That's the only number that I care about. And I'm going to put a circle here. Do I shade it or not? Is it open or closed? Close. I shade it because I've got the underline. And then I'm going to go to the left or to the right? To the left. So I'm going to shade to the left. That's it. Do what? When he gets back with a pass. Because, do you understand how I got 7? 15 minus 8 gave me 7. You good? When do we get out of here? 4:15. Okay, so how much time is that? A while. Like 45 minutes. Okay, I'm going to have that time with you. So you give me 20 minutes of math homework time and you can have the rest. Okay, give me 15 minutes without your phone and then you can have the rest. That's fair to me. You give me 15 minutes. So I'm going to put